Hello, everybody. Good morning. Today it is just me. Lucy had a little bit of a family emergency, and today we're going to be talking, or I guess I'm going to be talking about setting up your Amazon advertising campaigns for when you launch your new private label item. Now, sometimes you can set them up ahead of time once a listing is made. Sometimes you can't set up an ad until inventory is in stock. It's like it won't allow you to. So you're going to head over to your campaign manager, your advertising campaign. Now, I wasn't able to grab screenshots for what that would look like if you've never set up an ad campaign before. But when you go into your Amazon account, you will choose the drop down menu, go to advertising, and go to your advertising console. If you've never advertised before, there's like this big orange button. I can't recall what it says, but there's no option except to push it. Once you're in your advertising console, generally I recommend just setting up as sponsored products. So if you are a registered brand, you have a little bit more opportunity to create other type of ads, including creating ads based off video campaigns of your products. And if you are not a registered brand, you cannot do that. So I'm not going to go into video advertising or the brand videos. I'm going into just the simple sponsored videos because that is where most people will be making videos. And if you are not a registered brand, this is also where you would be going in and doing your videos, even if you're just an everything seller. I'm not videos, ads. And even everyday sellers can set up ad campaigns for your products. One question I get asked often is if I am selling on a listing that has other sellers, if I'm paying for ads, am I paying for ads for me and them? Because I don't want to be paying for ads for everybody else to reap the benefits. What happens when you are on listings like that and you're advertising? When you are paying for advertising, it's only when you have the buy box. In fact, sometimes it can favor you and give you the buy box, especially if you're the only one advertising. So with that being said, I'm going to jump into the slide presentation I created. I've taken screenshots of what it looks like and the steps you will have to take when you are setting up an ad campaign. I'm going to share my screen and remove me here. So bear with me just a moment as I get that pulled up. Oops. And I'm okay, so going over here, I'm also going to expand this. Okay. So once you get into your ad campaign and you will click on the button that says sponsored ad, you will usually have three boxes, three choices. I forgot to grab the screenshot of that, but you're going to click on the box that says sponsored ads. As soon as you click on that box, this is what you will see. I always recommend changing the ad group name. This defaulted to the date and time stamp of when I took this screenshot. But what you will do is you will name the ad campaign something that makes sense to you. So if you are just launching your private label item and it is some silicone, bowls, you might name it silicone bowl, launch auto campaign or keyword or product target, whatever it is that you are trying to do. That way, when you go back and check your ads later, you will see them listed according to the name. And you want the name to make sense to you so you can easily open it. Like, oh yeah, that's for my silicone bowl liners. That's for my coffee cups. It's a keyword ad. It's a product target ad. You want to know what it is. Then what you will see is this is right underneath it. Amazon wants to know you have two options where you can pay for advertising on Amazon and beyond. And the beyond is like on Google, when you search something yourself, when you've been product hunting and that Amazon listing appears in the Google search So these would be for sites and apps off of Amazon. Or if your product is especially business related and you want to do business to business on Amazon and you want to reach business shoppers, think things like dry erase boards or file folders, things that businesses might be likely purchasing, you may want to choose this option. Okay, then your next step is it is going to be the products section of the page. And you can search for your product, especially if you have a lot of products in your account. You can type it in here by the name, the ASIN, or your SKU. If you were to click this tab here, Enter List, it will open up a window where you can literally copy and paste all the ASINs that you want to add if you're adding multiple ASINs to your ad. And lastly, one that I never use is you can upload the file. So what I generally do is I will group things together. So if I had silicone bowls and I had it in blue and red and green and yellow, like variation listings, I may want to put all of them in one ad campaign together because they are similar items. So you can have more than one ASIN in an ad. You don't have to make separate ads for every single separate ASIN. You can group them together. And so if you have items already in your account, you will usually see them listed right here below. When you see your items around here is a bubble that says add. Or if you wanted to add all on that page, you could click add all on this page. This is clickable. And if there were an item here, there would be an add button. You want to click add. What will happen is it will pop up in this box. So every item you're adding to your campaign will show up over here. Now, the next step is going to be, where are we targeting? Is this going to be an automatic targeting, which is an auto ad? And I love automatic ads. They're a great place to start. Oftentimes, the auto targeting ads outperform my very well chosen keywords and product targeting ad campaigns. So I always recommend having an automatic targeting campaign. That's when you're saying, hey, Amazon, you do the work for me. Amazon will target keywords and products that are similar to your product in the ad. Now, how Amazon does that by targeting the keywords and everything is by how well you have created your listing. So at listing creation time, you want to make sure that you have very, very relevant, highly searched keywords and outlier keywords in your product listing, because Amazon is going to be using the information that you have put in your listing to make you findable. Your other option is manual targeting, where you are controlling the keywords or the products that you plan to target, and you are in control of that. I also recommend doing a separate ad where you do manual targeting. And that is where, when we go back to what you name your campaigns, that can be very important. Remember, we may have silicone bowl auto target. We may have silicone bowls manual keyword targeting. We may have silicone bowls manual product targeting. So that's why I suggest you name those titles. The next option is the automatic targeting. In this case, since we're doing an automatic targeting ad, is you can set a default bid and have it be a flat 75 cents. I never recommend doing this ever. I always choose the second bubble that says set bids by targeting group. It gives you a lot more control. When you select the bubble set bids by targeting group, you end up with these 4 categories, unlike the set default bid, which just is a flat rate for all. So we can have different rates for close match, loose match, substitutes, or complements. Normally, Amazon will be suggesting the bid range, but when I took screenshots, since I didn't really actually select a product, Amazon has no suggested bids for me. Also, there's a drop-down menu up here that changes for suggest bids for regular days, high traffic days. I usually leave it at its default for regular days. But as you get more and more into advertising, you may want to control things more at a micro targeting level. Normally, all of these suggested bids for these different categories are going to be different. And I usually recommend you start with Amazon suggested bid because you can let that run for a week or two and then adjust accordingly. Now, if we were to choose, kind of going backwards a step, instead of automatic targeting, we wanted to choose manual targeting where we are choosing the keywords or products to target, we would select this bubble. Then what happens is this menu right below it will appear, and it's asking you, do you want to target keywords or do you want to target products? Now, keywords are going to be very relevant keywords. Sticking with the example of silicone bowls, my keywords might be silicone bowls for mixers, silicone bowls dishwasher safe, right? They may be words that are very relevant. Red bowl, blue bowl. You're going to be picking your keywords based on your research. Also, if we decided to do product targeting, we may want to specifically target our exact competitors. We know who our competitors are, and we want to show up as a suggested product on their listing. So when somebody is looking at our competitors listing, we can show up as customers, have also looked at or bought products like these, and you can show up there, possibly taking the customer off of that listing and redirecting it to your listing. Okay, the next slide. If we are choosing keyword targeting, Amazon will suggest keywords for us. We can click this here and we can enter our own list of keywords. Or lastly, if you have a file, you can upload a file. I usually keep the drop down arrow on suggested bid. And then you can filter your keywords by broad keyword match, phrase keyword match, or exact. Now, this is where sometimes your auto campaign can help you find the keywords that customers are using that actually drove sales to your listing. And then you can move forward in starting Amazon keyword campaigns from those keywords. I don't recommend mixing all three in a keyword campaign. So your ad title, going to that very first step, might be silicone broad keyword, silicone bowls phrase matches, silicone bowl exact matches. And then that way, you know which one is performing well, your broad phrase or exact match. What will happen is once you have clicked on, we already have our ads here where Amazon has suggested keyword, you will see next to it this IS and this IR. What this means is your current impression share for that keyword. And then this other one is for your current impression on ranking. So you may find that you have 0 impression share or 0 ranking on a keyword that is very relevant. So you might want to click on that one to start really building up your impression share on that particular keyword. Likewise, you may also want to target one that you're already getting a high rank on and a high impression share on because you're already dominating that and you may want to dominate it even more. And so Amazon will tell you what the bid is by match type down below and what their suggested bid is. And of course, on regular days, because that is what we already chose. What Amazon does, which is really sneaky that they've started doing now, is it auto-populated already this over here, keywords related to your product category. This is kind of like an auto campaign. Now you can choose to keep this, or if you want to get rid of it, you simply click this X right here and that will remove it. Same over here when you add a keyword, because at the end of the row of each keyword, it will say add, add, add. As you add them, they will populate over here. Maybe you accidentally clicked a keyword that you really don't want. You can remove it simply by clicking the X next to it. Now, I chose to add an item so I could show you what that looked like. So you see here, Amazon has their defaults up here, keywords related to your product category, keywords related to gifts, keywords from brands also considered by shoppers. If you want to incorporate these auto choices into your chosen broad phrase or exact match campaign, simply click add. As you see, this one says added because on the previous screen, it was this over here, and we can get rid of it by clicking the X. Likewise, we add it by clicking the add. Now, coming down here where that keyword is that I mentioned to you. So this was a car air freshener ASIN that I grabbed so we could see what would come up for car air freshener. Now, the impression share already for this car air freshener, this keyword car air freshener, the impression share that I currently have is 0. And if it's very relevant that it is a car air freshener, I may want to start advertising for that. As you can see, the bid amounts on each of these 3 different categories range widely. And again, remember, you want to keep this ad being just broad, just phrase, or just exact. We don't want to mix and match. So you can, I mean, nothing's going to happen, but it's just better not to. So if I want to make this be a broad match campaign, I would click add, and car air freshener would populate over here in this box. Now here's Yankee Candle air freshener, and the item I added was a Yankee Candle car freshener, so it's very relevant. If this were an exact match campaign, that would make sense because a customer is typing in specifically Yankee Candle car air freshener. So I might want that one in an exact match campaign. If it was broad, the customer might have typed in candle car freshener, and mine may pop up as Yankee. So my impression share already on this is 0.68%, and the rank is 20. So I may want to double down on this keyword. And that's what I was trying to explain on the earlier slide. Some of the experts recommend not adding any more than 10 keywords to a campaign. I have been in accounts that have had 10 keywords and 100 keywords in a campaign. What happens is when you have way too many keywords in a campaign, the majority of them are not getting any ads. It's like they're getting cannibalized. They're just not even being used. I have seen ads with 20 words in their campaign be successful with 20, but definitely don't put 100. If you're going to have a lot, try to make several ad campaigns. I recommend not going over 15 to 20 keywords per campaign. Now, this section will pop up next when you're setting up your ad campaign. This is called negative keyword targeting or negative product targeting. You can set this up when you set up your ad campaign. I never do. I start adding things to negative keyword and negative product after my ads have been running. So what happens when your ads start running, you start gaining valuable information. You can go back in and see what the customers actually typed in that got them to click on your ad, costing you money, and if it converted to a sale or not. And what that really helps you do is narrow down your ads to just the keywords or phrases or product targets that are working for you, that are actually making you money. If you're finding that you have a keyword, like let's say car air freshener was getting me 50 clicks, costing me $50 and not making me any sales, I will want to add that to my negative keyword targeting. What that does is it tells Amazon, hey, I don't want you to suggest me for that phrase anymore because it's making me lose money. So I want to stop losing money. So don't show my listing when customers type that. I don't want to spend a dime on it anymore. Where you might be getting 50 clicks and 5 orders when they typed in Yankee Candle car air freshener. Well, that one we want to keep and double down on the spending on that one and I would have rather spent the $50 on that one that's making me money than $50 on just car air freshener where I'm losing money. The same applies to products you're targeting. If you're targeting another car air freshener brand, spending a lot of money on it, getting no sales, we want to add that product to our negative. The same principle applies here. Okay, the bottom part of the ad, when you're getting close to finishing, wants to know your bidding strategy. Do you want dynamic bids up and down only, or fixed bids? And it explains to you what that means right below it. I always do dynamic bids down only. Now, many advertising experts out there recommend when you're launching a product to do fixed bids. I have done that. I've never really seen a benefit for it. I'm not an ads expert. I'm good at them, but by no means am I, you know, a master's in it. So I generally do down only when it can do my max bid of, let's say, 75 cents. Maybe it'll spend 10 cents. Fixed bids is it's going to be 75 cents every single time. And Amazon says it will lower your bids in real time when your ad may be less likely to convert to a sale. Amazon knows this because they know the behavior of that shopper's pattern. So I like this one for that reason. Now, at the very bottom part of your ad bidding strategy is you can adjust your bids by placement or audiences. So if you want to show up on the first page, you may be willing to spend 10% more. Same with rest of search or product pages. When I set up my ads initially, I always leave all three of these to 0 because I don't know where I'm going to be getting the most traffic or bang from my buck at all yet because I haven't ran the ad yet. I don't know the behavior of my product. Once your ad has been running, at the end of the month, when you go in and check the stats of your ad, you can see where your traffic came from. Was most of it from the top of the search, rest of search, or product pages? You will see there's a page you can look at. It will show you your impression shares for all three of these, your clicks, and the sales that you made. Now, if my impression share is very, very low on the top of search on page 1, well, then I'm going to be willing to increase this to 10% because I realize I'm not bidding enough to show up on the first page. Now, if my impression share is good at top of search and rest of search and product pages, but I'm making most of my sales on product pages, well, I'm not going to increase this if I'm getting high impression share and no sales, but I will increase this so I can start dominating on product pages. So I always like to leave mine at 0 on initial setup. And change it later. And that's the beauty of your ads. What we do when we set it up, we can still change after our ad has been running. This is not set in stone and has to be this way forevermore. Now, I didn't take a screenshot of audiences, but when you click on audiences, there is 2 choices. You can choose to target audiences set by Amazon based on the customer's shopping behavior. So if that customer has been searching for car air fresheners and they haven't bought any yet, Amazon knows that they're looking to buy them and they haven't made a decision. And so there's still room for you to get that sale. Amazon will suggest you to that particular audience. And if they are somebody who has bought your product before, that's another audience. So you could market to previous buyers. The third choice is customers who have your item in their shopping cart, but have not checked out or made the purchase yet. So those are your 3 choices under audiences. Now at the bottom, it has this campaign name again, just like it has at the very beginning of setting up your campaign. I want you to copy and paste what you called your campaign name and paste it in here. So you're going to have the campaign name in both of the boxes. If you make portfolios, I didn't cover that today. I don't plan on covering that today. You would choose what portfolio you want this ad campaign to go into. You have a start date and an end date for your campaign. I leave mine open-ended. I never set an end date because, like all the other settings, if we decide to turn our ad campaign off, we can. I see no reason in ever turning it off as long as I have the product for sale, because I want to always be advertising it. And then you set your daily budget. Amazon will have down here a suggested daily budget. It's usually in the family of $10 to $20. Just because you set a daily budget of $10 a day does not mean that you'll actually max out and spend that $10 a day. That tends to scare away a lot of new sellers that have never done ads before. They get fearful that, wow, at the end of the week, I will have spent $70. And, that will really add up at the end of the month. There are times where I have $10 daily budget on ad campaigns, and I maybe spent $30 by the end of the month, even though it has a daily budget of 10. I don't recommend ever going below 10. I mean, 10 would be the ultimate lowest I ever set it to be. In the beginning, I understand new people to ads are scared to do that. So trust me and set that daily budget at 10. Now, once your ad starts actually performing well, Amazon tends to take you more seriously. And I have found that my campaigns do better when I set a daily budget with a minimum of $50 a day. Something magical starts to happen. So I do want you to know that, and know that you can start increasing your daily budget. And all of these things can be done after the fact. So that is really the end of this presentation. I know I'm disappeared here. Forgive me. Here I come. That is the end of today's presentation of just a very beginner, simple 101 intro to setting up an ad campaign and your settings for your ad campaigns. And then we can do another lesson down the road in a couple of weeks on analyzing that data that our ads have now started to capture, and when and how we would change our bidding on keywords, how we actually go about adding the negative keywords, and all of the things that I did not cover today. This is really just an intro lesson to setting up your ads. Now, next week, Lucy will be back with me. I'm cutting today's a little bit short because I was a one-man show and I've really covered all that I needed to cover. So if you have any questions about ads, setting up ads, trouble you're having with ads, please comment below in the video, because I would love to answer those questions and cover those questions for you. I do manage Amazon accounts for big brands on Amazon, so I do have a vast knowledge in setting up ad campaigns, running ad campaigns, and things that work, and why I make the decision of adjusting the ads in the way that I do, because there is a method to it. At first, it's, seems hard and daunting, but I promise you, if you go in your ads every week and make it a discipline, it gets so easy. You'll just be flying through there in no time. I hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.